Slow motion. I'd like to call the Mayor's Selectmen meeting to order May 19, 2014, 7 p.m. Can everybody please rise and remove your caps? Follow me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Item 3 is public participation, public comments. A 3-minute maximum. Would anybody in the audience like to say a few words? You're surprising me. Yes, Mr. Denone.
David Denone, 85 Dandale Street, Putnam, Connecticut. Mayor Falzarano, at the town meeting last, I posed a question to the Board of Selectmen concerning the town treasurer, the lapse of the treasurer, and the reinstitution of a new treasurer. I'm curious to know your opinion on, or your take on what happened there, since I'm not familiar with that event.
Very simple. The current, or the existing treasurer, after many, many years of service, retired.
Mm-hmm.
We had to get a temporary secretary. I think you got an account temp treasurer, and she filled in. And in the process, while she was filling in, Doug Cutler, our town administrator, with a group, were interviewing other people, and they hired Sandy Savoy. So there were the 3 people right there, which put our audit in arrears a little bit. It was a difficult budget period. So there you go.
And who was the temporary treasurer? You say it was a...
I don't know her name.
You don't know
She
the
was a
name?
treasurer from another town.
Canterbury.
And how long of a period was that gap between?
She was here at least 6 months.
6 months.
6 months.
Cheryl LaFawn Miller.
There you go.
Even a hyphenated name.
That's right.
Good memory.
Okay.
So that's the story of the
That's the
treasurer.
story.
That won't happen again.
Thank you.
Got it. Thank you. And you set a no personal record of 1 minute and 42 seconds. Very nice. Would anybody else like to make a comment or yeah, another surprise, Linda Garcia, advisor to the Little Lions.
300 Walnut Street, Putnam. Yes, I'm advisor to the Leos, which is the youth component of the Lions Club. So I'm excited to have them here tonight because I bring you the future. You may not have mentioned it in this forum before, but I think that Putnam is the center of the universe, and I'm just very proud to be from Putnam. And everything I do and say it has to do with making Putnam a better place. And I like to, when I bring forward a recommendation for improvement, I like to bring forward the solution for that. And so here tonight, I bring the future. I think among and this is just a small part of the Leos Club. Leo stands for leadership, experience, and opportunity. And so we happen to have among us the current president and the upcoming president. So I'll let them introduce themselves.
Right ahead.
I'm Kayla Van Dam, as the president of the Leos. This is my 2nd year as president. I've been Leos for a couple years now, and I really enjoy it.
Excellent. Who's sitting right behind you?
Hi, I'm Cassie.
Cassie, no last name?
Johnson.
Okay.
They don't all have to live in Putnam to be in the Leos Club.
I dined with the Leos Club at the night of giving. In fact,
Right.
yes.
Yes. Oh, so you know
I know these guys.
just so you know, the Pomfret Lions don't allow women.
What?
It's true. I won't say anything more about that. So the Putnam Lions take any women from Pomfret who want to come. So we also have
Very good.
Leos from other towns.
I'm Alicia Maya Torres. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Position.
I'm going to be future treasurer.
Very good.
I'm Jocelyn Lewis. I'm the vice president of the Leos Club, and I'm the upcoming president.
Very nice. Well, let me tell you this, they were very well behaved at the night of giving, and they spoke very well. They handed out some great prizes, and they also flirted with some of the older men there. So you'll have that there.
I mean, you?
Let me tell you something. Any kid who says there's nothing to do in Putnam is dead wrong. These kids have so much to do. Sometimes they have to choose which thing that they're going to do for something. So anyone who's whining about nothing to do, there's a lot of things to do in Putnam.
That's an
Lots of
excuse.
things to do.
I agree with you.
There's lots of things, and these kids are doing a lot of those things.
And I like you think Putnam is the center of the universe. Okay, item 4, approval of the minutes. 4A, May 5th, 2014, Board of Selectmen minutes. We received those in your package.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Any discussion, any additions, any deletions, any corrections? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Ayes have it, so voted. Petitions and communication, 5A, letter dated April 29, 2014, from Wheelabrator regulating the discharge monitoring report. March 2014, the file in its entirety can be found in the mayor's office during normal business hours. 5B, letter dated April 29, 2014, from Wheelabrator regarding the facilities inspection report, first quarter of 2014. This file is also, in its entirety, can be found in the mayor's office and reviewed during normal business hours. Item 5C is a letter dated April 29, 2014, from Wheelabrator regarding the solid waste tonnage report, first quarter of 2014. I'm sure that's in the mayor's office as well, and that can be viewed. And finally, 5D, letter dated April 30th, 2014, from Wheelabrator regarding closure and post-closure financial assurance mechanism, 2014 annual update. And that, as well as in the mayor's office, can be reviewed during normal business hours. 6A, report of standing committees, General Government Committee, Codification. Alma, that's you.
It is. The meeting that was scheduled for this week has actually been changed to next week, the 21st, I believe.
That's correct.
At 6:30 here.
That's May 21st,
And,
This Wednesday.
6:30 a.m. or?
Oh, this Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, 6:30 p.m.
Okay.
And I will not be in this one.
Special reports of special committees, Wheelabrator Contract Review Committee. Doug, you have anything on that?
Yes, we're meeting with Wheelabrator on June 9th.
Okay, is that the Viability Committee?
That's the landfill viability.
Okay. Chart,
Elmer, is that date 6:30 or 6?
6:30 p.m.
6:30. Or did you change it to 6?
I don't know, 6 is good if you want 6.
Oh, it's going to be up to
Right,
chief pace,
yeah.
yeah.
I don't know why I had 6 on mine.
Yeah,
I don't know, because we normally do 6:30, but we can double check that.
I'll go.
Okay. 7B is the Charter Revision Study Committee.
I have an email out to the members of the Charter Revision Study Committee and trying to get a convenient time for everyone to meet.
Do you have any openings on that Charter Revision?
Yes, we do.
How many?
One.
Okay.
Might have to be a republic.
Okay. And this Facilities Group. Who's that?
You tell me.
We have nobody there?
Well, we do, but we have to get a meeting together.
Okay.
And I thought we
So
had
we're
some.
gonna
I thought-
repopulate it
I had
first.
to get some more
Coming up.
members on it, so.
Okay.
How many show?
Maybe 3? 3?
Well, there's the two Perrin brothers, Nick Longo, myself, and Alan. There's 5 on there right now.
So 2.
2.
Well, there originally was more than that.
Yeah.
That's too many.
Seven's
Seven's good. They can't decide on what to do for lunch, they can decide how to build things. Okay, we'll populate that.
And I know we would like to meet with the Board of Selectmen as well.
Now, on that thing, does that have to be populated by political party or anybody?
I'm not sure. You know, there's 2 Republicans.
It is, I think it's politically.
Okay.
Well, we just have to make sure that,
Yeah, it balances.
the
Yeah.
Democrats can't dominate.
Peter Serafin was one of the ones that was on it.
Okay. Item 8, staff reports. To expedite these meetings, instead of having those people give an itemized, long, detailed report, the reports are up front there. If anybody has any question, if any of the selectmen have any question on any report, that would be the economic and community development, the building official CEO report, the town planner report, the assessor report. And now's the time to ask these people questions. If there's no questions, we'll move on to number 9, the Doug Cutler Town Administrator Report. Anybody have any questions to ask dealing with these reports?
No, they look good.
Fine. Town Administrator Report, that's you, Mr. Cutler. Do you have anything to report? Other
That's
than-
what I provided in the
Okay.
report.
Does anybody have any question of Doug?
No questions.
Very nice. Unfinished business. We're cooking along. Item 10. Town Administrator Contract Extension, possible executive session. Alma, do you have anything there, or do you want to go to executive session later on?
No, we don't have any updates as of yet, still waiting for, some stuff between Attorney St. Ange and, Doug.
So you're blaming Attorney St. Ange as well as Mr. Cutler for dragging the feet in that? Okay. It's okay, just.
I guess there's no problem, huh, Doc?
That's right, no problem.
Item B is fiscal year 2014-2015. As you know, happy to report at a 47-3 vote, the budget passed remarkably easy because there was no mill increase. Item C is the Quinnebog Regional Tech Park. Happy to report to you that Scotland, who we visited 4 times, finally went to negotiate 5 times, went to negotiations, and they're the first partner to join with us, which gives us a 75% reimbursement rate instead of a 50% reimbursement rate. Our selectmen, Selectmen Owen Tar and Scott Pempick went to their town meeting with the public, and their first selectman, Dan, don't know how to say his last name. Sin. Crazy spelling, but that's okay. Called on Scott from the audience, and he gave a report to the townspeople, which is highly irregular, and good thing Scott was there. He kind of swayed a lot of opinion, and they voted in favor of. We had gone, Scott and I, and it was kind of like there were 27 people, and it was like I got like 14, 13 in favor. But at this meeting, it was double that. There's over 50 people, and some of these people were really tough Yankee farmers. You know, they had the jean pants, the jean shirts, and jean jackets on. And if you looked at their boots, they were just coming off the fields. And the hardest thing, again, I've said this 100 times, is trying to tell people in one town that their tax dollars are going to another town. So that's a hard concept for them to understand. And Scott, because he's a good salesman, like all the other salesmen at Rallis, he convinced the people what the story was, and they've accepted. So that's good for us. We don't need another partner. However, we will talk to Brooklyn. They're next in the line. It's Brooklyn, Pomfret, Canterbury, Sterling. So if we get that, it's going to be, each one's going to be 10%, and the last one's going to be at 9%. So the Putnam will control 51%. And we're setting up an advisory committee, so they'll have a say in what goes on. And their initial cost is going to be $80,000 apiece, which will entitle them to 10% of the $800,000 fee that we need to get everything prepared. And through our attorney, we assume all the liability and responsibility. Obviously, we're going to make the most money, so that's the reason for that. We're going to put the roads in and everything else. And we're up front with them. We don't hold anything back, pull no punches. They see what's going on. They know exactly what they're getting into. And we could have done this on our own, but it's really nice to have other people help share the cost. And as soon as, and I'm happy to report that Mr. Cutler, that one, got our bridge put out to bid finally, after years of hanging them. Once that gets done, the YMCA is going to start. Once the bridge gets accepted, it's going to start. So you'll see rapid progress once that happens. It'll say, there you go.
That's August, September range, right?
I hope even earlier, but August.
If you take a ride across where the ash landfill goes in, and any citizen can do that, just go over the bridge and take a left. Go 100 yards down the road, and you can see how clear it is, ready to go. Site ready, prepared. Took the trees out, took the stumps out, took the gravel off, they're ready to build. You're just waiting for the fish and the boulders. Okay, next. Town hall workers, hours.
Oh. Could you, I just interrupt, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Under the Quinnebog Regional Technology Park, you have in your packet a draft of the interlocal agreement that was, we're using for Scotland, but all the other agreements that we are presenting to each of the towns is based on the Scotland agreement. The only change from the Scotland agreement to the other towns is the fact that they pay a 10% maintenance fee as opposed to a 20% maintenance fee because they're the first town in. So one of the things that you'll be asked to vote on tonight is to go to town meeting, and this will be one of the items on the town meeting call is for the town to enter into the interlocal agreement with Scotland and or other towns.
So this is the document.
This is the document. It's a working draft, so.
And they finalized those two little
They
things?
finalized those two things, and that's the document that they went to the town meeting.
We're not voting on this tonight, are we?
No, you're
Just
sending
bring
it
it
to town meeting.
We're voting to send it to the town meeting, to a town meeting.
We're voting to send a draft to town meeting?
Well, it's not a final one until it gets approved by the town meeting.
They have to approve the draft to make it official, just like
Okay.
a salesman.
Can you tell me where specifically, because I can't find it, oh, I see it.
The maintenance fee?
I see it.
How long have we had this?
We've been working on it since forever.
This thing right here?
Yeah.
But in terms of the final, to get to this stage, Scotland we were just there Thursday night, and there were still 2 items that they were going back and forth with Attorney Sainer. So I'm guessing you probably finish it up Friday?
Yeah.
So,
It's there, now, when the people are out of the way, the board is selecting the board, now it's just lawyer, their lawyer, our lawyer, and your cousin here. And it changed, they're looking, they're very, very skeptical, you know, because they're investing $80,000. And they have invested money in municipal, whatever they do,
Mhm.
and they get, I think 1.5% return, which gives them $1,600, and that's just not good enough. So here, they're gonna get between $10,000 and $12,000 a return, once everything is in place forever. So that kind of was the stuff about, but again, they're learning, check this out, Bill makes the corrections, send this to them, they send it back, change this line, okay, we'll discuss it, okay, that's a good move, that's where it's a draft.
Okay. So, just so I can wrap my mind around this thing that we're gonna vote on tonight to send to town meeting, this is set in stone right here.
Based on the negotiations with Scott.
Okay, but Scott just said that there were a couple more details that had to be
no,
worked out.
this
No, they were.
this includes those details.
Okay.
But if that's the case, why would it be a draft then?
Yeah,
Because
Because
it
it's
hasn't
not
been signed.
final until the town meeting,
Our town meeting.
governing body accepts it. The governing body are the townspeople.
I understand that. Also, we're supposed to vote on sending this to a town meeting tonight, but I've had it in my hands for 16 minutes.
Just like the state legislators. They got $1 billion proposal at 11, they voted 11-10.
I know all about that.
You got 6 more minutes.
Been there, done that.
Okay.
It wasn't right then, and it's not right now.
We tried to make it as simple as possible, and it's a $7.6 million park, but with the grant and with the up to 75% reimbursement from the state, our net cost to develop is about $800,000, okay? So what we said to the investing towns, the partners, is you give us a 10% investment, that'll give you a 10% share of the tax revenue. Because the park happens to be located in Putnam, we have to plow the streets, we have to
So there's a
maintain the
maintenance
roads,
fee.
things like that, and so that's our maintenance fee. And that's basically it. The one question that came up, because they're not owning any land, our potential partners, they're just investing in the revenue stream. Because they're just investing in a revenue stream, and it's a pretty minimal investment, if you will, $80,000 on a $7.6 million park, the concerns of basically all the potential partners were liability. So we thought about it, and we said, yeah, I wouldn't invest $80,000 if I opened myself up to, there was an accident, an explosion, huge potential liability. So part of that maintenance fee will go to insure the park, as we're gonna be the insurer, or the insuree, I guess you'd call it. So that's basically, you can read all the legalese, but that's what it is. 10% of $80,000 gets them 10% of the revenue stream of the taxes, and it's an anticipated revenue stream. It all depends on what the lots sell for and what the tax, what the actual buildings are and what they generate in tax revenue. And the maintenance fees, we told all 5 of the partners, the first partner, I'm a salesman, first guy that jumps in gets a 10% maintenance fee. The rest of the players, 20%. So Scotland jumped on the 10%. And that's the deal.
The other thing is that we abide by our town of Putnam zoning regulations. They don't have any say in terms of how we determine what is enforced under our zoning regulations. The other thing is that we do not anticipate giving any tax abatements or assessment reductions based on trying to encourage towns in. We haven't done it with our current industrial park, so we don't anticipate doing that with our.
Didn't we do that early though? when we first started up on.
The only thing that we would have
had-
done was under the Connecticut Enterprise Corridor, and that's state funded, so we don't get involved with that. It's a state program that helps us to sell
But-
or sell the property.
We still own 51%, so if push comes to shove, and we were upfront with all the neighboring towns, push comes to shove, 51 is better than 49, so we're still in control.
They also have buyout clause. They can leave, but they give us the right of first buy. They have to sell it, if they want to leave the organization, they have to sell it to
And what's the buyout?
If they wanna buy
If
it.
let's say they go to another town and say, you know, we're
So
selling.
what's
our-
that figure? I'm asking, what's the figure?
That's what, they could go to another town and say, you know, we'd like to get out of this thing, you know, here's what the deal is, what do you wanna, pay us for this? I can't imagine anybody would go in except for what the original price was, which was $80,000 in that revenue stream. So that's probably.
Or
what would
more.
come- Or more.
Or more.
So that would come back to the town, and here's what they negotiated in terms of the buyout for that town to, buy out their share.
So that
of
has nothing to do with their agreement with us?
Right,
I would imagine we'd have to accept the buyout, no?
no.
We just have first refusal,
We just
we
have
don't
first
have to
refusal.
buy it, okay? I just want it to be,
Right of first.
I want it to be to have first dibs on it.
But they're only getting the revenue stream based on their initial 80%, 10%.
And they also know that they're not gonna get their 10%, you know, the next day. It's gonna take, Scott did a great job of presenting, you know, here's probably within 2 or 3 years, they'll start coming, we have to sell the building.
Right.
They have to build the building, they have to bring their equipment in, then we tax it at our rate. And again, if our taxes go up, their percentage goes up, so they're gonna get a higher income
So
stream.
the percentage remains the same, but
Right.
it's a percentage of a higher number. Now, their maintenance fee is calculated off of the revenue that they receive. So in terms of what's the bad deal for us, if you will, we don't get any maintenance fee until they start generating, and the park starts generating revenue, i.e. buildings go in and taxes are collected. So we thought it was the fairest way to structure the whole deal.
How long have we had this draft in this form?
In this form like this, Friday, right?
Friday.
Thursday.
Thursday.
I had to make some final changes to get presented to them for their town meeting Thursday.
We started at a 30,000-foot level and said, here's the concept, okay? We had this land given to us by Wheelabrator, here are all the details, and at the NECOG meeting, we had nothing, okay? And we said, let's sit down and talk to the towns and find out what it would take to get a potential partner to join, what's beneficial for Putnam, what's beneficial for the potential partners. So through all the meetings, this is what we came up with.
And the thing is, none of us here have a law degree. This has been through the ringer for the last several weeks, back and forth, between St. Ange and their lawyer's name is Attorney Willis, I think.
Matt Willis.
Matt Willis. So they've been going back and forth. He's protecting Scotland, Bill St. Ange is protecting Putnam. So no one's getting hurt either way, and Bill kind of leans toward Putnam, so we're gonna come out more of a beneficiary than any of the towns.
And so now that we have an agreement, now towns 2, 3, 4, and 5, other than the one change from 10% to 20%, we'll go to them and say, here's the agreement that we signed with Scotland, here's, take it or leave it, yes or no, in or out. And we think it's a great investment for any potential partner. We think it's a win-win for everybody. I personally have told the towns, I'd like Putnam to own 90% of it and just have our 110%, because when you look at the revenue stream and the potential, you do a cash flow analysis, I think it's best to own as much as you can. But
What's the deadline for the other four?
that's one thing that we haven't set.
You gotta set that.
Yeah.
Yep, we have.
We were in earnest to get a partner. And we beat the streets night after night after night.
Yeah.
Went to all the town meetings, went to the selectmen's meeting, their board of finance meetings, and finally we got a deal. And again, I have to put my faith in Bill St. Ange and our town administrator for coming up with, it says a draft, okay, if you don't like that word, not much I can do about that, but that's gonna be the lightning rod, that's gonna be the stem for all these other towns. So take it or leave it. We don't need another town now.
Yeah, I'm wondering, why don't we just
Well, it's
shut down the...
it's $800,000.
Well, wait, to be fair,
You make,
You already
squeeze a
made
nickel.
overtures.
What's that?
You squeeze a nickel, being that you are, it's $800,000 nut.
Right.
So we get 80,000 from Scotland.
Right.
Now, when you get $80,000 from Brooklyn.
I
We're not-
said,
we're not
if
gonna
that's
go-
the case, though, why don't we just pack up the tents and?
Well,
leave?
we're not gonna go
You
knock
can't-
on
you
any,
can't do that.
we're not gonna knock on any more doors. What happened is we presented it at NECOG. These 5 towns, Scotland, Brooklyn, Canterbury, Pomfret, and Sterling, were interested. And based on their town meeting schedules and our meeting schedules, we went out and presented. The only town that we haven't presented to, and that'll happen on Wednesday night, is Sterling. Sterling was the last guy to call, and we'll make a presentation. So far, 3 towns, Pomfret has voted to enter into negotiations, Brooklyn has voted to enter negotiations, and Canterbury. It was just that Scotland was the first town, so they were ahead of the curve, if you will. So whether or not, there really will be no negotiations. They'll see this and they'll either accept it or reject it. And then it's up to their townspeople, because all of the potential partners are structured just like Putnam is, and that the electorate, the townspeople, are the governing body. So it would have to be adopted by the townspeople, so.
There's another safeguard that was added after all the discussions going back and forth, that none of this happens unless the state of Connecticut comes in with a financial commitment.
Right.
But if the state of Connecticut doesn't come in with a financial commitment to that 75%, then, basically all bets are off. And the other thing is the statute that allows us to do this requires that they have the ability to terminate, amend, or withdraw. And they also have to have the ability that this has to be presented to a public forum, so we'll have to have a public hearing beforehand before we go to the town meeting. But it has to be approved by the legislative body, which is the full town meeting of the town.
Okay, so we're going to have a public hearing before we have a town meeting.
Right.
All right.
You feel better now?
Yeah, I didn't like the fact that this thing was dropped on our desk.
We just want to follow Harvard, that's it.
Huh?
We're just trying to follow what they're doing Harvard.
So at the town meeting, you'll have the,
At the public hearing, we'll actually have a presentation for the
You
public.
can give permission to sign it.
I have 5 different presentations, one structured for each town.
At a different silo.
Very personal.
I can't wait to see the one for Putnam.
So do we
Haven't
need a-
done that one yet.
Do we need a motion to put this, to send this?
To add to the town meeting for the other
Or do
items.
we have to wait till we get the other one?
Well, let's wait till the other.
Okay. So
Can I
then
make a
we'll-
motion now?
He said wait till the other, have
I'll
the other
wait.
stuff on. So let's go to D, this is on tar. Town hall working hours for employees. What do you got, Owen?
I thought this was gonna be an easy thing when we started this, but it's become very difficult, actually. At the last 2 town meetings, I passed out the survey, and the people who came in, selected what they would like. So I ended up having 62 people filled out the survey at our last 2 town meetings, 2 of which were, only wanted it open 1 day a week, 2 days a week, so I just threw those out. The other ones, what I did, the number 1 alternative is what the schedule they have now. Number 2 is the one that the town employees asked for. Number 3 was, I think I copied Woodstock's schedule, and number 4 was to have it open on Saturday.
Now, Owen, are these the exact choices that are on our sheet here? 1, 2, 3, and 4?
Yeah, on the
Okay.
sheet you
Gotcha.
got, yeah, same as mine. On the one that I did, I just passed them out, I didn't tell anybody to do anything, here it is, whatever you wanna do, you check it off. So,
you don't have a packet.
I'm gonna get that.
What were your results?
Mine was, most votes was 29 to have it open on Saturday, or 25.
Well, hold it, I'm getting confused. So that's the bottom
Bottom
one?
one.
You got 29 for that one?
Yep.
This one says 22.
That's a different survey that somebody else did. So, yeah, I'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Okay, so the next one was 25 out of the 60 really, was to have, they're gonna be closed on Saturday.
The second from the bottom?
Right, I'm just working it up, 'cause,
25?
yeah. And so they're gonna be open Thursday night till 6 and closed 3 o'clock on Friday afternoon. The next one up is what the employees wanted, but that was gonna be closed on Friday, Saturday, and opening early on Monday through Wednesday. Out of the 62 votes, only 3 people voted for that.
Three of the
Only 3.
townspeople.
Huh?
3 of the townspeople.
Right. And then the regular schedule they have, 13 people voted for that. So then when I came here tonight, the town clerk did their own, which is totally opposite of my independent survey. Their survey, they ended up with 108 people, 66 of which was the way the town's employees wanted it when having Friday and Saturday off. And no need to talk about the other ones, because they're small. So it's up to you guys. I'm just saying that one's independent, and maybe the other one is too, but this is for all town employees, not just town clerk's office. It's for everybody.
And how did you make sure that you had unique responses out of those 2 meetings?
Well, just the people just sit there and.
So, but I'm saying,
Back to-
so, for the
So they
first one
could've
was
voted twice.
the public
No,
hearing?
no, they could've, but I asked everybody who voted last time, but we're
Oh,
not gonna do it.
so,
this
and
time.
plus you knew most of the people.
Yeah,
anyway.
I know
So,
most of
okay.
it, yeah.
So you're pretty confident in your results are, you.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure nobody voted twice,
Gotcha.
totally.
So the bottom one on theirs is 8 to 4:30, 8 to 4:30, 8 to 4:30, 8 to 6, Friday 8:30 to 12 o'clock, and nothing on Saturday. That's theirs. Right. So
No, that's, what on the bottom, that's some of the other people just added
I
this
see.
fifth
Okay.
option.
All right.
I only had 2 people. do
Well,
that.
Owen, you've done this for 1,000 years. Which one do you recommend?
Well, it's up to everybody else, I don't
Well,
wanna.
I mean, you did the survey. What's,
Well, I feel on my survey
Yeah.
that being closed on Saturday, closing Fridays at 3 o'clock, and staying open on Thursday till 6, that gets nighttime.
I like that.
I mean, I don't know if that's, I think that's what I voted for.
In that one, right there?
Yeah, the third one.
Third down.
This is the same thing, Nick Longo sent me a letter doing the same thing.
So do you need that in form of a motion?
Yes,
or-
we do.
I'll move
You
that.
all gotta vote on it, you know.
I'll move that.
Yeah, I'll second.
What's that?
I'll move the one with 8:30 AM to 4:30 PM on a Monday, 8:30 AM to 4:30 PM on a Tuesday, 8:30 AM to 4:30 PM on a Wednesday, 8:30 AM to 6 PM on a Thursday, 8:30 to 3 o'clock PM on a Friday. and
Close on Saturday. I'll second.
All right.
Motion made, seconded, to have it as the third one down. Discussion.
Union, is there any?
Well, I don't think there'd be, because I don't know about the union, but they're not gonna be open on Saturday, so that's not a problem, I don't think.
I don't think it'd be a union issue because the selectmen determine what the hours of the town hall are. As long as we don't cut their hours or extend their hours, we don't pay. So how many hours does this give them all?
I think it's 35, I think.
They work 35?
Yeah, I don't
Under
have-
consideration, maybe on Thursday, by the union contract, they would actually be eligible for overtime. So you may want to get them to sign off saying that they would not put in for that overtime.
I
Because
think
they're
that's
not
something better
hourly
to do,
paid
or-
a day,
Because it's after 5?
because it's at more than 8 hours.
More than 8 hours a day.
Oh, I got you, yeah.
So you want to
That's
get
true.
something to sign off from the union, so we
Yeah.
don't.
Well, if we don't get that, we'll stay where they are.
The extra expense.
Yeah, I don't wanna pay
It's
that.
your choice. You know.
So you have a motion on the floor to keep it like number 1, 2, 3 down here, but, or you could amend that, say pending union
I think that's
clarification.
important,
Yeah.
Pending any union verification on that or contract negotiations.
Yeah, we don't wanna get in a battle with the union.
No.
So who made the motion?
Peter.
You have to amend that, Pete.
Well, I'm amended to include, with the union verification that there was no issues.
And not to include any overtime.
And not
You know, it is interesting though, I don't mean to interrupt, but the one that they want, look
Got
at
the most
each day,
votes.
9 hours.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Did more overtime, wouldn't it?
That would be overtime.
Unless they sign off.
Anyway,
Okay, we have a motion with an addendum to the motion
With an amendment.
to go to the third one down, pending union clarification. Is that the way I interpret that?
I seconded it, and I'll still second.
Okay. Any more discussion?
All those in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Is there any abstentions? Ayes have it, so ordered. I'll ask Denise to call Billy Dietz, he's the president, and we can sit down with him and tell him of this change. I believe, I looked at the contract, I believe that the town administrators, which it would be us, can change the hours of the town or working personnel as long as we don't infringe on overtime or extend it without pay, which we're not doing. So,
But we're creating overtime on that day.
well, we're gonna talk to Dietz on that, if
By
that will
the
come back.
same token, he brought up a good point, all the other ones are 9 hours,
Yep.
so.
All right,
Yep.
we'll
I
get
would
that.
just be concerned if it's in the
Yeah,
contract.
yeah, no, I understand.
Okay, item E, consider scheduling a special town meeting to accept land involving frontage on Town Farm Road.
Doug, can you give us a little background on that?
Right, there's been a situation at the end of Town Farm Road that there's been some lots and driveways that don't actually come into Town Farm Road. So to correct that and to give them frontage on a town-approved road, the News through their surveyor, Messier, has come up with a plan to sort of form a hammerhead at the end of Town Farm Road, which will extend Town Farm Road further to be able to allow these lots to actually gain frontage on a town-approved road, and to correct the situation that's been in existence, how long, Peter?
Oh, since, God, I don't know, the 50s, 1950s.
Wow.
So it's .07, it's a small amount of land, and it will form a hammerhead, so, give the plow trucks the ability to back in and back out, and, not necessarily have to come on people's driveways to plow roads, but it corrects the situation and makes it a much better situation in terms of giving these folks actual frontage on a town-approved road, and there's no cost to the town. That will be, granted to the town. I've reviewed it with Jerry, he has no problems with it. So, it has to go to town meeting, unfortunately, because even though it's such a small lot, but even when we gain an interest or we sell an interest in town property, we have to take it through.
So we're gonna vote to bring it to a town meeting.
Well, you have to vote it to refer it to the planning commission and the board of finance, and then take it to town meeting.
I move we approve it, send it to planning and zoning, thank you. And board of finance.
Motion made, you send it to the proper committees.
It will also be on the town meeting
commissions.
call on the 16th.
Awesome, okay. The motion made in second, any more discussion on that? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Ayes have it, so ordered.
Grant consideration and updates.
There's
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, local bridge program, the applications were due under the local bridge program. We have one remaining bridge that would qualify under the local bridge program, and that's the East Putnam Road Bridge. This does not commit us to anything, it just gets our town in the queue to be considered if funds become available. There would have to be a match from the town at some point if we decide to go forward with the construction of or reconstruction of the East Putnam Road Bridge. So at this time, it's just authorizing the mayor to sign the application to get the town of Putnam in the queue for future consideration to construct the.
Is that the one that goes over Katy Brook in front of Peter Serafin's old house?
I believe so, yes.
Any idea on the cost?
No, we're way not close enough for that. It's a very estimated cost right now, estimated cost.
So their motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Scott, second by Alma, now for discussion.
So we still could get out if we
We
had
still
to.
could get
Well,
out.
that's what I
Yeah.
want to make sure.
Right.
I will say this about that bridge, there's not a lot of space under it. If we get a 100-year flood,
You're gone.
that bridge could be in trouble.
Noah, we're not getting a 100-year flood, trust me.
So you're saying,
You just jinxed us.
A little humor.
but you're saying, so when they redesign it, they could
Lift it up.
lift it up and widen it
Well,
around?
I would say at least widen it.
It is,
because
it's
it's
been
very
narrow, yes. I
Yeah,
know.
Very narrow.
I remember in, I think it was '05, we had that huge rain, and I went out there taking some pictures, and I showed Peter the pictures, he wanted them, but it was, you're right, it was backing up, so.
Okay, so we're not committed to anything right now, so we need a vote. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Ayes have it. New business.
Do you want to add the new item?
Yes.
Presented for you tonight for an executive session is a matter involving litigation concerning an assessment appeal. So we need a two-thirds motion to add it to the agenda in executive session.
Second.
Motion made and second to add an item to go into executive session concerning an appeals. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? And we'll put that down at the bottom. Okay.
12X? No.
That's all you needed for that, right?
Yes, please.
Okay. And now, 12A in new business, considering granting a temporary pistol permit to Joshua Greenwood.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded to Joshua here. Okay, Josh. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, Josh. You have East Putnam?
I do? Yep.
Okay. You're the last person in East Putnam that's armed. Very good, Josh. And it's already made for you. You have a gun permit, but you can't buy any ammunition.
Working on it.
Okay. 12B, consider and act upon a resolution. Resolution appropriating $7,735,000 for the development of the Quinebaug Regional Tech Park Phase 1 for commercial and business development and authorizing the issue of $7,735,000 in bonds of the town to meet said appropriations and pending the issuance thereof, making the temporary borrowing for such purpose. County Attorney Bill Sainaj has provided a letter available at this meeting approving the resolution as to form and legally in terms of the provision of the town charter and the state statutes. A vote is required. Do we have to add all this in one?
No, they're already added.
Okay.
All you would do is to have a motion and a second to receive into the record the opinion of town attorney with respect to Quinebaug Regional Technical Park Phase 1 and amendment to the 2012 water project bond resolutions.
No, it's both. It's both.
It's both. So it's as to both.
Yeah, second.
So we got a motion by Scott, second by Alma. Discussion? Discussion? Questions?
Yes.
This is just for to bring this record, the attorney's record into the record.
Okay.
Then you go on to the next resolution.
So we're just bringing the letter. Okay, motion made, seconded. Any more discussion on that?
Okay, so we're not actually voting on the resolution.
No, just to enter the town attorney's letter into the record regarding the two resolutions.
So is our agenda correct? It says to consider and act upon the resolution.
No, this is the first one, which is to act on, to just enter this into the record,
So that we can act on that.
so you can act on the resolutions. Because you need the attorney's letters before you. Right.
Okay, so we're not, so this thing is gonna be in limbo then, for a little bit. It's gonna be set aside.
No, we'll vote next on the resolution.
The next vote after the letter.
B,
Okay,
you
all right,
got B
gotcha.
and C.
Gotcha. We're gonna have two votes.
Yeah.
Right.
Three votes. You're going to vote to enter the...
Multiple votes, I got you.
Okay. The motion was made by Scott, second by Alma. Discussion's over. All those in favor of entering the letter into
The record.
record, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Ayes have it, so voted. Now, do I read C?
B.
B.
Just read B.
Oh, okay.
You just
Then
read
you
it.
ask for a motion.
So move.
Second.
And this is for,
Now we're voting on the 7 million.
This is the
Okay.
7 million for
Approve
the
the
temp.
other one.
Motion made, second for this, now discussion.
yes,
Go ahead.
the $7.7 million bond package for the tech park. Is that for the infrastructure for the entire park?
No, that's the infrastructure just for phase 1. It brings
Which
all...
is
The 6
the
to 8
land
acre-
that we're getting from Wheelabrator?
That's right. The 6 to 8 Wheelabrator.
And how big is the entire park?
The entire park is approximately 220 acres.
Okay, so,
So do we have any value assessed to that?
Not yet. This is just dealing with phase 1. We're just proceeding on the basis of the phase 1, which is the White Escape property and the 4 lots that we have subdivided.
So this is $7.7 million for infrastructure on just 1/4 of the planned industrial park, tech park?
But this is where this is where your largest costs are. You gotta get over the water.
Got the
So you have the
bridge.
bridge, which we have the grant for.
Right.
And then you've gotta put your infrastructure in, your gas lines, your sewer, your water, data. And this is what we talked about earlier, the net. I mean, this is the gross amount. The net is estimated to be under 800,000. But you have to, just like when we did the bonds for the water and sewer department, the town has to approve the whole thing. And then you net it out when you get your bonds and your grants and things like that.
So, at some point, we're going to have, let's just say, best case scenario, people are lining up to move into the tech park. And phase one is a very short phase, because we've got to start expanding this tech park. The 7.7 doesn't cover any infrastructure for the rest of the park, just that initial phase.
Initial
which
phase.
is, what, 59 acres or 55, whatever it is? 62. Okay.
That's
It's
what
gonna
we
be
own.
What's that?
That's what we
I
own.
understand.
Phase two is
But
privately
that
owned.
7.7 only handles that small section. The larger part that is still out there, that we want to develop or may want to develop, that's going to be in addition to the 7.7, over and above it. And we don't know what that number is.
We know it's gonna be cheaper than, the other lots, the 62, because you have the bridge that's already ready to be built.
I understand.
So that's a major
But
part of
the
it.
one unknown, Doug, that we don't know is because we have land acquisition costs in phase two. And there's no options on any of the property, there's been no negotiations with the private owners. So phase two may or may not happen depending on how reasonably we can get the lots.
Does Scotland know this?
Yes, everybody.
They all
knows.
know.
Okay.
Every town entered into phase one. The only thing we gave the partners, we talked about the potential of phase two, but the only thing we said to them is if and when there is a phase two, you will be the first people that we talk to. You have no obligation. You can either say yay or nay, or let's explore it further, or I don't want any part of this, you know. But that's the only thing that they're getting by being a partner in phase one.
And it's only good for phase one?
They're just getting in for phase one, and that's all of this language in this draft thing, all it talks about is the known variables in phase one.
All the stuff that we didn't get a chance to read yet.
Right. We do know this, the Beta Group, I think the latest was 2011, did a feasibility study, and so they have some numbers on what the total park projected cost for the total park would be.
21 million.
So their number was 11.
I saw 21, that was including the bridge and everything.
The number that I saw was 11. I've never seen the 21 million.
Because we were looking at 8 and 3 was going to be basically the split in
Right.
cost between the town and.
Does that include getting the land?
Potential land
11?
acquisition costs, yeah. So like I say, we're talking about phase one, and I hopefully you're right, and phase one fills up real fast, and we have to talk about phase two. But none of that's been discussed. We're
Not to
playing
be-
the hands
not
that
to
we're dealt.
belabor the point, but we've got almost $8 million here for infrastructure alone on 62 acres. Okay? And you're saying that it'll only cost about another 3 to buy 170 or 80 acres?
Based
Plus
on-
put infrastructure on it?
Based on the survey that I saw from Beta Group, unless you're showing me something different. And that may or may not be the case. We're playing the hand that we're dealt on the known variables of phase one. Like I said, phase two might not happen if the infrastructure costs to go out to the remaining potential lots and the land acquisition costs are too high. You know, it's gotta make economic sense, as far as I'm concerned, for us, before we just say, hey, yeah, let's develop phase two, and you know what, the lots are gonna be $400,000 a piece for us to make a profit. No, I mean, it's good to create jobs and it's good to create tax revenue, but if the dollars and cents don't add up, you know, the Board of Selectmen, I don't think would, you know, they'll have the final say whether they go ahead with it or not.
So when we went to all these towns, you know, I kept prodding Owen and Scott. I said, let's just worry about phase one. That's what we control. We don't control phase two.
Right.
That's private property.
Right.
Let's get phase one taken care of. After that, and we don't have a list this long, people knocking on the door saying, yeah, we're gonna build there. So it's gotta be, the girl in the back row rubbing her eyes is gonna have a hell of a job marketing this thing and getting people, I caught you to Alpha. Don't go to sleep on us here. But that's gonna be, and once that's done, or even a commitment to build, then we can talk to the people who own those lots, say, look, you know, within a year or two or three, here's what's gonna be there. We got infrastructure going right to the border of your property. Let's sit down and negotiate this. So when that comes, that'll come.
One last question, Doug. Do you remember what the land that Wheelabrator is donating to the town, and we're obviously donating a portion of that to the YMCA? What was that assessed at? What was the price tag of that? Was it 65 acres, whatever that number was?
Yeah.
What was the
I don't
dollar
know if I
amount?
ever really looked at it from an assessment standpoint.
$500,000?
I don't know.
I'm sure.
Oh, if you look at it from the cost of what we put into it, it was a.
No, I just mean. the
$500,000,
land
it was what, or $500,000?
itself. $500,000.
Without frontage.
Okay. Okay, 60-something acres, 500,000, okay, thank you.
Okay, now we have to go to that.
And you have to have a roll call vote, please.
Oh, I got that right here.
Well, I put the paper. Here, you want it?
No, I got my own.
You can find it.
I got it right here. We have a motion and a second. Did we see, we did that already, okay. We need a roll call vote, so I'll ask our clerk at the time to poll this beautiful body by name and record a yea or nay.
Mayor Falzarano, how do you vote?
Yay.
Deputy Mayor Mori, how do you vote?
Yes.
Selectman Tar, how do you vote?
Yes.
Selectman, Glasgow's not here. Selectman Benoit, how do you vote?
Yay.
Selectman Cutler, how do you vote?
Yay.
How about me?
What about Scotland?
Selectman Pembeck, how do you vote?
Yeah.
Joke's on you.
I figured it out. First down with this
After
meeting,
the
I
clerk,
am done.
the clerk has to call the roll. I declare the resolution adopted. Now, Doug, what do you need?
Is there a motion and a second that the resolution entitled, and you want me to read it?
Yes.
Resolution amending the resolution appropriating $7.5 million for town drinking water system improvements consisting substantially of the replacement or relining and cleaning of water lines installed approximately from 1940 and earlier, and authorizing the issue of $7.5 million of bonds of the town to meet said appropriation and pending the issuance thereof, and making of temporary borrowings for such purposes be approved. Recommended for adoption by the legal voters of the town at an adjourned town meeting, and a referendum to be held pursuant to Chapter 8, Section 4F of the town charter, and a copy of its full text be incorporated into the minutes of this meeting.
Moved. It was a motion by Alma Mori, second by Scott Pembeck. Discussion.
Yes.
Go.
I might have asked you this question before, but where do we stand on our bonding and indemnity issues?
After the
Issues?
good news we got from the state of Connecticut
On
in
the
regard
school?
on the school, now that we actually know what that number is, that $9.3 million, we've reduced our indebtedness cap under we've reduced the amount that we have under the cap significantly. So we're in good shape.
We're no longer in danger.
The other
Because of what
thing,
you
the thing is on the water, any water project does not get incorporated under our cap. All water projects are not included, so. So the one that would have been important would have been the 7.7 million.
But we still don't have a bond rating.
We won't have a bond rating until we go actually sell the bonds for the school.
And how much did that new legislation bring our exposure down to?
9.3, what were we predicting, otherwise?
16.
16.
That guy that you hired, Dennis Dix,
Dennis Dix.
he's been after me to, some kind of financial guy, I guess.
He's a finance advisor.
Yeah. he's been coming to me asking the fire district how much we've borrowed for the station, because according to him,
It gets incorporated
it
within
gets
our cap.
incorporated into your total.
Yeah.
Are
And
you
he's-
factoring that in as
I'm
well?
factoring that in.
Okay, because the total amount for our loan is 3 1/3 million.
Right. So when we initially were talking about this in relative to the library, and the library project was what, 7 million? And that would have put us up right against the cap, what we are allowed to borrow in the various silos of borrowing, whether it's redevelopment funds, school construction, sewer projects, general government, general purpose bonds. That would have put us against cap. However, since we got the approval from the General Assembly for our school project, we know that given that number now, it's going to be that $9.3 million. So that eliminates that full project, because we had to count the full project, which was $36 million against our cap. So once we know the net cost to the town, we're able to significantly come under the cap.
I have a question. When I was on the finance board, we were at one particular point in time, going to have somebody from Fitch or Moody's come down and help us out with, or give us a bond rating for the town, so that we would have something that we could have secured and that we would know. Was that ever?
That was considered, but it was in relationship to the library when we were at the cap.
Right.
So now that we're below the cap.
Yeah, but it's still a good.
Our finance advisor, Dennis Dix, is saying, wait until you actually sell the bonds for the school, which is
Okay,
2.5 years out.
so
We might have to go earlier if this project goes through.
Well, that's what I'm trying to get.
If we go, because the infrastructure for the tech park goes through quickly, we're talking a 14-month period,
Right.
which is, the school's gonna be a 2-year project.
Right.
So this project will probably come before the school, actually, that has permanent financing on it. So once we do the permanent financing on the technology park infrastructure, again, where we'll be down at that point, hopefully to only the $800,000, then we'll probably get a bond rating for that, which hopefully will also be, put us in good shape for when we sell the bonds for the school.
Allow yourself enough time, that's all I ask.
That's right.
So the time comes.
I know bonds, it's a front-loaded amortization,
Right.
and my calculator won't do that. I just did a quick amortization. Your debt service, if we just did a straight line amortization, it's $465,000. If we take the 9.3 over 20 years at 3%.
Well, didn't it start off with like 1.7?
Yeah, that's huge.
Any more discussion?
The other thing is you can have that designed in.
Front-loaded,
Front-loaded,
yeah,
back-loaded.
Right.
So, yeah, it is significant, that you're right, because I have the figures, I
Yeah.
did get the figures in.
Yeah.
This limit, is it debt limit, or is it bonding limit?
It's debt limit.
Debt limit, does that include what we've been borrowing off of the Ash Landfill
No,
fund?
that's an internal fund.
If you had gone out to bond for those
But it's
in the
still
open
debt.
market,
Yeah,
that
it's
would
still
have
debt,
counted.
but it's an internal
Well,
fund.
we're paying ourselves.
You're paying yourself.
Oh, then it's free then.
No,
Well,
it's
it's not free.
You take it back.
But it doesn't.
We are
count towards your
obligated
bond.
to pay that money back to the Ash Landfill fund,
at 1%.
that 1%. How we can't count that as debt is
Because,
beyond me.
because it doesn't go out into the open market.
Right.
Once it goes out into the open market, it's counted as debt.
If
It
we
has
had,
to be- that's
if we
the
had
way it is.
bonded all of these projects, that's what the
Well, that's why I
conversation
asked
Peter and I
her,
were
is this a
having the
debt
other
limit
day.
or a bonding limit?
Right.
If it's a debt limit, and we're obligated to pay that money back to the Ash Landfill fund.
But it's our own fund.
Calculated.
It's our own fund, that's why you don't have to
Okay.
do it.
Okay, seeing there's no more discussion, I'll ask the clerk to call a roll call vote.
Don't forgive me this time, Denise.
And start with him first.
Start with him,
And then
he'll
end
have a
up
heart
with the mayor,
attack.
because he might have tied the break the top.
Deputy Mayor Mori, how do you vote?
Yes.
Selectman Carr,
Yes.
Selectman Benoit,
Yes.
Selectman Cutler,
Yes.
Selectman Fenton.
Oh, thank you, yes.
About the man, don't forget-
Yes.
don't forget the man.
I declare the resolution adopted, 6-0. Is there a motion and a second that the resolution entitled, Resolution Providing for Special Town Meeting on June 11, 2014, and a referendum vote
at adjourned town meeting to be held June 19, 2014. Be approved and a copy of its full text be incorporated into the minutes of this meeting.
Where's this information coming from?
I'm reading it.
Yeah, from where? Do we have
Do they have
that?
that on their page?
Oh.
They should have, yeah.
Oh, we have it.
See?
Confusing.
Here it comes.
And we had to wait for it to come to us.
Oh, I had it right here. I was front-loaded, you guys were back-loaded.
Denise, when would the potential public hearing be if the meeting's on June 11th? Is it June 11th?
We could have it
June
on.
19th.
We could have it on the night of June 1st, which is our regular, which would be our regular selectmen meeting.
There's only one select meeting
One
in June.
selectmen in June.
It's not June 1st.
No, I know, but
June
we
first.
could schedule a public hearing. on
That would be June
Second.
2nd. June 1st is a Sunday.
Oh,
And you
June
need 10
2nd.
days,
Yeah.
don't you?
We can do that.
Do you need 10 days?
Public hearing. Just for the public.
After the public hearing for the town meeting.
So that's the night, the public hearing is the, I mean, the thing would be the 19th? No. Oh, it's gonna adjourn to a referendum?
Yes.
So 10 days from the 2nd is not the
It's not
11th.
the 11th.
That would be the 12th.
And we don't have a meeting on the second unless we call a special meeting.
Oh, we don't have a meeting on the 2nd?
No, I
July
just don't
ninth.
want,
Oh, I wasn't paying
This-
attention.
So we need a town hearing
Yes. you have to
Public
on the
have-
hearing.
2nd. And then 10 days after that would be the 12th.
Well, we can't do it, then we have to have it early. You need the 10-day criteria. 10-day criteria is only for the scheduling of the town meeting, to put the notice in.
So we know when it's gonna be.
Yeah, we know when it's gonna be, so the public hearing can be, anytime before
Be
that.
tomorrow.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you have to give notice for the public hearing.
All right.
How many days notice?
Statutes is not clear on that, it's just, you hope it's.
It's not 10 days notice for a public hearing?
I'm not sure, is that by charter?
I don't know. I'm not Peter Seraphin here, that thing backwards and forwards. I'd have to read the charter.
Public hearing, I believe, is the same as a town meeting with, as far as the public,
Which is how many days?
we have between 5 and 10, but you
5 and
can't count, you
Either
can count the day of,
Or the day of.
but
or
not the day
of
it's
the public
printed or
hearing.
vice versa.
Well, no. If we had the public hearing next week, like the 29th, would that work?
Yeah. That gives you 10 days.
Would we have it here at the school? Having it at the school is gonna be problematic, I think,
Why is that gonna be a problem?
just with everything they have scheduled.
Graduation, award ceremonies. You
Well,
have it here?
Yeah, but I don't think, what if you get more people to show up?
Yeah.
This-
Yeah, we're not,
you're gonna get a lot of people in that kind of money.
do you want me to
I think
call and
you
see
will.
what is available?
What do you think? Would you
Why
think?
don't we say tentatively on the 29th, pending checking with the superintendent? Can we do it that way?
would cover the bases.
Then we'll leave
What's
it
that,
on.
Scott?
I'm saying we could vote to hold it tentatively on the 29th, pending the confirmation with the superintendent. You also
May
have the high,
29th?
you also have the high school too.
Right.
I mean, you could put them in either place. The middle school's nicer, if it's hot, you get the air conditioning. You get better. My only problem is, I have to go away either the first, second, or third week of June, and I don't know yet. My boss and I are negotiating back and forth, but he tells me, I don't tell him when I'm going, so. So if I have to do this presentation, Owen could do it.
You're putting money in front of the town?
Imagine that? But I will be around the week I'll be around on the 29th, so.
Was that June 29th, Doctor?
May 29th.
Next week, next Thursday. 10 days from today.
Actually, we might not have enough time to post that.
Well, that would be the thing to do if you have adequate time in terms of the bylaws.
Well, we know we're covered if we go 10 days, which would be Thursday the 29th.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of getting it, we want it on the 29th, which means we wouldn't have enough time to publish it, because Linda's deadline is the 23rd, it would come out on the 28th.
What about the 30th?
Still not
Friday?
enough time.
You don't want Friday?
You need at least 5 days from the publication date, which would be the 28th.
All right, well, worst case scenario, we could do it, and then if I'm not around, one of you guys can present it. You've seen the presentation 100 times, Owen.
I've seen it, Scott.
Yeah.
And this is different, sort of different presentation.
Well,
Because
yeah.
this is for the appropriation.
For the appropriation of it.
Well, let's see, you sold generators, he sold cows, so.
Right.
He's about the same. He can do it.
New meeting.
So what date do we pick here?
So you wanna
What
have.
would legally be the date, Denise?
The earliest we could have it, it would go in the paper, June 2nd is the earliest.
Yeah, that's
When?
fine.
June 2nd.
In second.
That works.
Call your boss,
But-
Scott, tell him you can't.
But the town meeting can't happen on the 11th then.
12.
Right, here we go, that 10 days again. 10 and 2 is more than 11.
It would have to go to the 12th.
Well, yeah. So what's the big deal about that?
I've already cleared the 11 for the registrars and the town clerk.
Yeah, this already says the 11th.
If you do it in the bulletin, you can do it you can get the time. You don't have to go with the town clerk.
Good point, as long as we have it in the paper.
As long as you have it in the paper with general distribution in the town.
Right?
Yes.
So if you go with the Norwich Bulletin, then the 11th would be fine.
Yeah, well, the 29th will be fine.
20th would be fine.
Let's do that.
Let's do that, Denise.
Okay,
It's gonna
Norwich.
cost more money, but that's
A lot
okay.
more.
That's okay.
So
Coming
the
out of
public
Doug
hearing
Carter's
will be
budget.
next week on the 29th. Okay?
Tentatively at the Putnam Middle School auditorium.
Pending Superintendent Hall's approval. If not, we go to the high school.
Middle school. What time, 7:30 is it?
7?
7?
Public hearing.
So we have to have bond council change.
Okay.
7 or 7? You said?
It's up to you.
So
7,
7.
unless there's a charter change, let the charter say 7:30, I'm not even sure.
No,
There's
just
one
for the
charge.
town meeting, just for the annual
Okay.
town meeting.
So I'm gonna repeat that. Is there a motion and second that the resolution entitled, Resolution Providing for Special Town Meeting on June 11, 2014, referendum vote at adjourned town meeting to be held June 19th, is that correct?
Yep.
Right, I'm sorry, who made the motion?
I'll make that motion.
And the copy will be incorporated in the minutes. Motion made by Alma. Is there a second?
Second.
Owen. Any more discussion?
So June 11th is what then?
That's the town
Town
meeting
meeting.
that's gonna be
Town
adjourned to a
meeting.
referendum on the 19th,
There's a public hearing on the 29th.
for the public hearing on May 29th.
You don't need to say it.
You know, okay. Motion made, seconded, any more discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oh, you got a call, that's all that you got a call. Go Denise.
Mayor Falzarano,
Aye.
Deputy Mayor Moore,
Yes.
Selectman Carr,
Aye.
Selectman Dunbeck,
Aye.
Selectman Benoit,
Aye.
Selectman Cutler.
Aye.
The vote is 6-0, I declare the resolution adopted. Okay. Now, section D, consider the sale of town-owned land, 22 Chase Street. You received in your packet is a townsperson, right now it's a little park that's never gets used, and Willie Buskett and Jerry Bose, they're constantly called up there because of vandalism, and it abuts two different properties. The assessed value is in your package, I'm not even sure what it's assessed.
70 some odd thousand.
I don't know how that works. If town owns this little park, and a town citizen can buy that, if, does that have to go to zoning, does that have to go to planning?
No, it has to go to planning and it has to go to the Board of Finance.
Okay.
So this looks like a potential building lot.
It is a
It
building.
is, yeah, it's a huge building lot. It's probably not subdividable, but it's a huge building lot.
What's it, 4 acres?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a ton of wetlands behind that.
So when
The
it goes,
building lot itself would be about 1 acre,
Yeah.
fence and
It could be .24 like all the other neighbors.
Yeah, up front, near the Duffy Street
Yeah, it's
there.
got very little frontage.
Right, yeah. it's buildable and dry. But if you go back, beyond that swing set in the picture, it's all swamps.
Would that come to our, board first, Doug?
It is right now.
It comes to you, but then you have to make a referral if you want
To
to move
zoning
this on
or
to
the Board of Finance?
Board of Finance and Planning.
So what's the process? I've never seen this done before. What's the process? An auction with a reserve or?
What the requirements of by our policy is that you normally would get an appraisal on the property.
Right.
It's varied over the years because some of these are so small that, we
Yeah,
usually
we're-
just offer them to sale to a
Neighbor or
neighbor or something like that, but in this case, it's a building one.
So, is this guy a neighbor?
Yes,
Oh, he is a neighbor.
he's a budding neighbor.
All right.
He's right on the corner there.
Oh, here you go, right here, 73 and 51. Appraised and assessed.
But can anybody else bid on that property?
Yes, if you put it out the bid, yes. And you could put a minimum.
Why not?
Reserve.
You could say, at least, I don't know. The value is there, that's the assessed value.
Why not have people go out to bid for it?
Yeah, as long as we put a reserve,
Yeah.
we're protected. But I think we're gonna get some good money on that.
It's a little park there, a swing, used to have a slide, but the slide was taken out, some kid wrecked it. It was dangerous, all wrapped up now, and there's, call it seesaw, whatever. But no one uses it. So what's your pleasure on this?
So the motion is to send it to planning and then the Board of Finance.
The motion is the sale of the land.
Or, I thought you said it had to go to planning and Board of
Well,
Finance.
I thought it maybe should go to Recreation Commission to have them say, dispose of it.
Well, who puts the caveat of a
Who goes
reserve
first?
and you send it to auction, so it comes back to us at that point, or do we put it on them?
You put it on there.
I think it should go to recreation.
I think it should go to recreation too, let
Yeah.
them.
Yea or nay?
Wait, but they're not the ones that should get.
Right.
No, they won't.
No, they have
But
to.
it'll come
They're
back
just gonna
to
make a
us.
recommendation
Okay,
as to
all right.
whether it should be
It'll come back to
disposed
us.
of.
But he'll say yea or nay.
Let them make the determination,
Right.
because they know how much it's used.
They'll tell us, look, go ahead and sell it or
Right,
don't sell it.
right.
It comes
Then it
back
comes back
here
to
and
us.
then we,
Right.
okay.
So, there have to be a motion to send this item.
I'll make that motion to send it.
Second.
Motion made to send this item to the Recreation Commission, and it's been seconded by Pete Benoit. Motion made by Doug Cutler. Any more discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Ayes have it, so ordered. So when you'll be getting that letter from Denise saying,
Yep.
go to your meeting. Okay, consider me the, now, acquisition of land, 48 Powhatan Street. What's the deal with that, Doug?
It's a vacant piece of land that butts this person's property. It's at the end of Powhatan Street. He just wants to dispose of it because he owes taxes on it. That's the reason.
You want to sell it?
He wants to sell,
Back
he
to
wants
us?
to, he wants to,
Why not?
give it to us.
How much do you want on the property? Is it on here? I see 24.
I say take it and
That's the
run.
appraisal.
I don't know what's on there.
I see the valuation, I don't see the taxes.
No,
So 24,000.
Yeah,
That's the assessed value.
it's about 2,400.
He owes 2,400,
Yeah.
And what's the assessed value?
24.5, but it's .13, so it's not buildable.
Not buildable.
No. What's on it?
So what?
So,
Are
let
we
me,
sure?
What are we gonna do with this? You can't build on it.
Right.
You can't sell it.
yeah, but so, right now,
He owns a house abut.
I don't think he owns us, but
yeah, but, I mean, if we look at it for the best interest of the town,
I would.
right now, he owes us 2,400, that we're collecting, what,
Yeah,
18% on if he's past due or something?
Yeah.
And now, if we take it back, we stop collecting
He's off the
taxes,
hook.
that relieves him of his debt, and what are we gonna do with it?
We have nothing to do with it.
I say leave it alone.
I don't,
And liability.
can't
is
sell
on
it.
that.
yeah, I don't.
No, there's not, you can't even build a lot on it.
Right.
You can't really do anything with it.
Who neighbors this? Is there a budding landowner that might be interested in it?
Can I ask a question? With your
Elsie,
permission?
yes, Senior, the Economic and Community Development Relation Lady.
Does that property butt up to either the Monahan property or the Palo property?
No idea, we don't have a map.
Okay.
That's my question.
If it does, you may want to consider that, because each one of those properties are for sale, that it's taken over by them as abutters, and they can collect on the sale of the land and pay the taxes to the town.
Can I recommend that we table this and find out?
Till we get a map.
Till we get a
I'll
map?
make that motion.
Motion made to table.
Second.
Motion made, second to table this. Any discussion? All those in favor of tabling this?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it as voted. F, consideration of the approval of the Northeastern Connecticut Regional Probate Court Memorandum of Understanding. You all received that? You want to add anything to that, Douglas?
It's sort of like a package deal that the memorandum of understanding has to go along with the lease. The way this is structured, when they came to try to find a location for the regional probate court, they looked in various places. They looked at whether towns had space. They've been in Thompson. They've looked at Brooklyn. The Brooklyn deal fell through. So they were given guidance to look for commercial space. They came across this commercial space, and based on the agreement among the first selectman chief executive officers, they decided that they would rent this location, but they needed an entity to be the lessor, whatever we would be, to sign the lease. So the town of Putnam would become the signer of the lease, and we would be responsible under the memorandum of understanding that they would, the towns would be responsible for paying their share of the lease. We have no other obligations aside from the fact that we have to be the entity that signs the lease, but it's really the responsibility of the Northeast Regional Court to pay for all the costs associated with that lease. And it's a long-term lease, and it also incorporates a children's court, which is now down in Brooklyn, and will be moving into the space along with the probate.
And everybody's gonna share the cost.
Everybody's going to share the cost, and on a per capita basis.
So what's, just out of curiosity, what's our cost gonna be? I mean, I see the lease of
I
$42,000.
think it was, total cost was $9,400, which was what was in our budget.
Right.
And how does that compare to Thompson right now?
It's about the same.
Pretty good deal.
And it's good to have that building filled.
Yeah.
I'll make that motion.
Motion made by Ellen, second by Pete Benoit to approve the Northeast Connecticut.
Let's go to town meeting too.
Oh, yeah, because you're...
To send to town meeting.
Yeah,
I didn't get there yet.
I'm sorry.
You yelled at me. And refer the probate lease to a special town meeting and set date for said meeting. Is that the part that you wanted me to do?
No, that's okay, you're set.
Okay, thank you.
Both have to go to town meeting because we're acquiring an interest through the lease, and we're
Right.
also going to be entering this interlocal agreement.
Any more discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Any abstentions? Ayes have it, so voted.
Is that for
Consider-
both items?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Consider approving the National Drug Prevention Week proclamation. Need a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second to approve the National Drug Prevention Week proclamation. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed? Okay, very nice, that's approved. Consider approving the Historical Preservation Resolution. What's that all about, Dudley?
I have no idea.
That's Sarah's annual.
Oh, that's
So moved.
Second.
Motion made and second to approve the Historical Preservation Resolution. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Beautiful. Consider awarding the website development and hosting contract to Virtual Town Hall in School, vote required. Doug Cutler, Scott Pembeck, Denise, and Bill Hull were involved in the website presentation by Virtual Town Hall. Scott said it's a few pennies more,
No,
but it's,
actually, I'll make the motion so we can discuss it, but I will tell you, if you look on the tabulation sheet, on the matrix, it's actually the least expensive for the town side.
okay.
Now that I'm not on the Board of Ed, I don't care about the Board of Ed anymore, but it's a little bit more expensive for the
These are
Board of Ed.
things, see how things change?
Oh, I see that.
You're on the Board of Ed, you see how
I
things
see,
change when
I
we were
see.
talking
Well,
about
right.
today?
But they were gonna, because it's an
You want me
RFP.
to second it so we can?
Yes,
finish?
thank you.
Okay,
Motion
I'll
made second to approve Virtual Town Hall as our website.
So like
Discussion.
I said, it's actually the least expensive in our option, and I don't know, I think Denise agrees with me. We saw 2 presentations, our third presentation was a conference call, and talk about not getting the picture, the third vendor showed us how to put a picture of a frog up on the screen, And I said, you know, this is kind of a school website and a town website, do you have anything pertaining to that? No, but let me show you how to put a picture of a frog up, and then he couldn't do it. And then somehow.
Things went south.
Yeah, somehow, there was an emergency and we got disconnected, so, but the other vendor that was more expensive, it was actually a two-step process. This vendor, which is the least expensive, Virtual Town Hall, Town and Schools, was a lot easier. The two things that we looked at were, one, how easy is it for us, Denise and company, to put information up? And then the second is how easy it is for the townspeople to access it and see it and sort it. And Virtual Towns and Schools definitely wins in both hands. Pomfret right now is using them. Brooklyn is going to be using them. Their current site is not up yet. So I make that. That's why I voted and made that motion.
Anybody, any other discussion?
Yes. Who's gonna maintain the site once we do? I looked at the same site we did, and I
Yep.
agree with that.
When you say maintain, what does that mean?
Update it.
Oh, if you approve it tonight, we have a staff meeting coming up Wednesday. I already have on the staff meeting a little notation for every department head to daily and or weekly put stuff up on the website of their department. So it'll be done by each department head. And it says to keep up with John Q. Public and surrounding town. We have, now what did we say about Pomfret? They don't have what?
No,
Pomfret don't have girls in their
Right.
Lions Club. So
Exactly.
right off the bat, we're gonna have a better website than that.
Exactly.
Simple as that.
In Pomfret, in the same website, the public can opt in to receive notices from us, and I opted into Pomfret's, and I found out that they approved to negotiate with us, came right to my phone, I get minutes of the meetings, I get everything. So as a citizen of Putnam, our citizens could do the same thing. We could also use it for communication with the Board of Selectmen and different boards and commissions. Instead of all these papers, Denise could send them out electronically, so.
No, wait, Ty,
Huge
you can send me
potential.
the papers because
Yeah, I know.
I'm awful with
Me
those.
too.
Owen and I have failed all
So,
website stuff.
but I anticipate, Peter, that it'll be updated, because it's easier, a lot easier, it'll be updated a lot more often, because my biggest pet peeve, especially when I was on the Board of Ed, is to go on there and see the 2008 bus schedules and the meal prices from 2005. And if you're gonna have a website and it's not current, you might as well not have it.
But the other part to it, and he's right with the staff meeting, you gotta have people responsible to make.
They will be responsible. And if they don't do it,
We'll put
we
it
have
in
a
the job
bad policy of writing little notations and their HR file.
Oh, is it? All right.
Under all,
You have failed to
it's assigned.
update your department, stuff like that.
Perfect.
I will learn from this.
Catches.
I want to be ahead of Owen on the computer stuff. Okay, so we need a motion to approve virtual town hall.
We did.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, I'll be a computer expert. Approval of the bills.
I make the motion, we pay all approved bills.
Second.
Motion made, second to pay all approved bills. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, other business, I have one thing about Wheelabrator. Usually once a year, Wheelabrator comes and gives us a couple of cases of honey that they make up at the landfill. And
The bees make it.
Who, the bees make it. I said it now.
Thanks, Captain Obvious.
Easy, Doctor. I said that wouldn't it be nice if Wheelabrator made the honey and you gave it to us, we'll give it to Denise Lasko, Renee Lasko of the town of Selectmen, to sell the honey. Take the money and put it in a box
At the farmer's market.
at the farmer's market. At the end of the year, that money gets donated to food banks in Putnam. So it's another good thing that Wheelabrator is doing. It's good for us, it's good for the town, it's good for Wheelabrator. So they're gonna do that. So there'll be honey sold at the farmer's market by the town, in conjunction with Wheelabrator, but the money will be going into a cash box at the end of the
ATM.
No.
SNAP fund. It'll be going to the poor, it'll go to the food banks in Putnam.
Delphin's pointing at you.
It'll actually have to be a separate account.
It will be.
Yes,
It
it
will
will have to be a separate account.
After
So
you
we'll have,
hire a person to take care of the books.
we'll
for the
have
farmer's
4
market.
accounts in the Saturday Farmers Market plus this one. So,
That would be 5.
Yes.
This is becoming quite the enterprise, maybe we should knock that building down. Okay, I just wanna throw that in down.
It's a good thing, Tony, it's a good
Yeah,
thing.
We gotta think long and hard about that one.
Really, Pete and I were pulling
About-
hair out, the little I have left. Is there any other business legally coming before this board?
I have something. By various actions tonight, you've resolved to go to send various items to town meeting. I have the town meeting call. The other thing that is added to this is the Neighborhood Assistance Act program. We have to take action on that before the end of the fiscal year if we wanted to participate. So for purposes of at least having our foot in the door to participate, this also calls for a town meet, this be an item on the call of the town meeting on June 16th, which is when the other items would be on.
We have to vote for that?
You have to vote to.
We gotta add it and then vote on it?
Add it and then vote on it.
I move we add second.
You add second.
What does that mean?
Well, we
What
both
is
said
that?
it at the same time.
Okay, so you made the motion to approve it and you seconded it.
Sure.
Okay, discussion. Does anybody need any more clarification from the eloquent Mr. Cutler?
First we're doing to add, right?
That was moved to add, now we
Move
vote
to
to
add,
send it to
so
the
we have
town
to
meeting.
We gotta add, we gotta vote to add it.
Yeah.
We just did that.
We didn't vote on it.
No, we didn't, he didn't say aye yet.
Thank you,
okay.
thank you, Pete. I'm glad you saw, good Republican, paying attention. All those in favor of adding?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, now, the second part.
To take
Send
this.
it to the town meeting. I move that we send it to the town meeting.
Second.
And I'll second that. Any discussion? All
You
those-
wanna know what you're sending to town meeting?
We're gonna send you to the town.
The Public Assistance Act.
No, you're sending 5 items.
Oh, plus the
Okay.
public assistance.
Okay, so you're sending the long-term lease for the probate
42
court.
grand, yeah.
You're sending the interlocal agreement, memorandum of understanding for the probate court. You're sending the interlocal agreement for the Quincy Regional Technology Park to this town meeting. You're sending the land acquisition on Town Farm Road and the Neighborhood Assistance Act.
And our 2 bonding packages.
No, that's going to
That's
another
a
town
different,
meeting.
That's a
so
different meeting.
when is this
This is
town
June
meeting?
16th, which is our regular meeting of the select.
Oh.
We'll adjourn to this
We
meeting.
can't adjourn this meeting. We don't want an
So
executive
we'll
session yet.
recess.
We got, but before that, public comments. Would anybody like to make a comment?
Well, we gotta vote on
We're
it.
gonna vote.
Oh, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, it's going to town meeting.
Here's the signature page.
Thank you.
Signing PBT. If anybody from the public would like to make a comment or a question? Linda Garcia.
Yes, hi, Brenda Walden Street. I don't know if this is the right forum to bring it up in. If I have a suggestion for improvement for a road, is this the right place?
I would just send you a note.
Well, I'd like to hear it. I'd like to hear it.
The bottom of Hawkins Street that opens out onto near Tractor Supply is very wide. And then the opening of Tractor Supply is very wide. And it's very dangerous. People going from Putnam toward Rhode Island on Route 44, pull right into there and go right across into Tractor Supply. I don't know if they don't see that Hawkins Street is a road, or
That's
what
true. What
happens.
you
Yeah,
said.
I've almost
because
been
of
whacked here a
all
couple
the,
of times.
The lines?
The line.
Happens all the time. The other day, I don't know why, but some man was actually parked in the mouth of Hawkins Street when I was coming, because I live on Walnut, so I come out that way if I go to Stop and Shop. He was parked right there in the mouth of Hawkins Street for some reason. I thought his car had broken down. And he saw me and he pulled back out. And also people drive right across the road at night. I don't think they can see where the markers are, and you can see the tracks where they've driven across the grass there. So it's something needs to be done.
That
to
will be
address
done.
that.
Our illustrious secretary is writing that down right now. That'll go to Jerry Mosley, and the town public works fellow, he'll take care of that. Thank you, Lynn. That was a very good comment.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Tim? Okay. Actually, did you memorize all the stuff to give to Renee when she gets home?
I took notes.
Okay, good. We need a recess to go into executive session.
So moved.
Second.
Don't you have
Yes, I do.
executive session?
Motion made to go into executive session. Thank you all for coming tonight. Appreciate it.